कई मूवीज में आपने जेल के अंदर के कई सीन्स देखे होंगे, लेकिन अगर एक मूवी आए विच इज ऑल अबाउट द लाइफ इनसाइड अ जेल, देन इट बिकम्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी। और वही कहानी को लेकर आ रहे हैं यूटी 69। राज कुंद्रा उसमें एक्ट कर रहे हैं, अगर डेब्यू कर रहे हैं अपना एक्टिंग का। शाहनवाज अली ने डायरेक्ट किया है। दोनों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत एनडीटीवी पर। इस इंटरव्यू को हम इंग्लिश में रखेंगे, हिंदी और अंग्रेजी दोनों का एक मिक्स रहेगा। सबसे पहले तो राज आपसे शुरुआत करते हैं। आप मास्क में हमें दिखने लगे, फिर आपने उर्फी के साथ वीडियो की, आपने मुनावर के साथ वीडियो की, फारा खान के साथ वीडियो की, आपने वो सेपरेशन वाला ट्वीट डाला। ये मार्केटिंग स्ट्रैटेजीज किसकी हैं?
I think all credit goes to Max Marketing. We have an agency that came on board and we were brainstorming कि क्या अलग करें, because हमारे पास यूनिट तो एक ही था, ट्रेलर। तो वो ही हमारा एक मिसाइल था जो एंड में हमको रिलीज करना था। So we started with various capsules, concepts. Shahnawaz had edited and directed and created that experience so that when people see this, they kind of get thrown off. उनको लग रहा था कि ये क्या आ रहा है, फारा, मुनावर, उर्फी, जबकि none of them had anything to do with the film. But so sweetly they came forward and said, we'll help this because we feel that it's a beautiful...
लेकिन मास्क तो आप I think पहन रहे हैं 2 साल से, तो वो मूवी के लिए कर रहे थे या फिर?
The mask started off as me just wanting to cover my face because I was hurt by media trial. जो ये मीडिया ट्रायल हुआ था मेरे साथ, I just felt that it was for me borderline below the belt and there were certain sectors of the media which sort of crossed the line and I just decided that मैं मास्क पहन के घूमूंगा और मैं उसी दिन उतारूंगा जिस दिन या तो क्लीन चिट आ जाए और बीच में फिर हमारा एक फिल्म बनाने का प्लान बन गया। तो ऐसे जिस दिन ट्रेलर लॉन्च होगा उस दिन I'll take the mask off, whichever comes first.
But it seems like you did that to avoid the attention, but I think it caught all the more attention.
Strange things sell in India. Like I said, they always say that अगर कोई आदमी रोड पे चल रहा है, normally nobody takes any interest, but अगर दो जने झगड़ रहे हैं तो everyone stops and watches.
Right.
So that mask just became a thing. You know, I didn't want it to become a thing. For me, it was this, but जब पता चला एक मूवी आ रही है, then I think I also started playing to the paps and the media. They started enjoying it, and I started also playing along with it.
And it definitely worked for you. And but you know, your critics would say that you were jailed for something which you were accused in. It's an alleged case, and it might seem like a whitewashing.
Yeah. So
what would you say to that?
अगर आपने ट्रेलर देखा है, तो you realize that the kind of things that the people inside the jail have said to me, you can realize it's not a whitewashing. And if it was, and if I had that much control, half the things I wouldn't let them say. I said, क्यों दिखाना है वापस, छोड़ो ना. Let me come out there and look like this really cool hero. Shah has kept it so real. I wrote notes inside Arthur Road Jail. वो जैसे notes मैंने दिए, वैसे ही, literally without any cinematic liberty, the film has been converted into a very light-hearted, dark humor, dark comedy. जो situational comedy जिसको बोलते हैं, जो things that happen inside a jail. So I think we've just used whatever we had to our advantage. We've not really said that it's a whitewash or it's this. And like I said, the trailer shows you. And I think you'll realize after you watch the film, the trailer shows you 1% of what we have. 99% of the real deal of within jail happens there. So I can assure you it's based on a true story with no added or cinematic liberties taken.
See, when you think of jail, you think of all the wild things that can happen to you. How did you take out humor for something like that? And why humor?
So as you said, this was we wanted to make a film, but when I read his journal, when he wrote, so he said, yeah, मुझे book बनानी है, देख ले. But when I read it, I showed it to my wife and my writer Vikram, who eventually wrote it, and we immediately felt this is more than just a jail story. बिकॉज अब तक जेल का एक परसेप्शन है ना कि अंदर पता नहीं क्या हो रहा होगा, गैंगबाजी हो रही होगी, जो होती भी है काफ़ी हद तक, पता नहीं पत्थर तोड़ रहे होंगे, जुल्म सितम हो रहा होगा, रोज़ पट्टे पड़ते होंगे, विच साइड वी आर नॉट डिनाइंग, शायद होता होगा, बट व्हाट ही रोट वाज अ कनेक्शन ऑन वन विद सो मेनी पीपल एंड देयर वर 250 पीपल इन हिज बैरक. सो इट्स एंड इमीडिएटली वी फेल्ट इट्स नॉट जस्ट राजेश स्टोरी, ये उनके साथ में वो 250 लोगों की कहानी भी थी. सो एंड इट वाज, वो होता ना जैसे हमने कोविड में भी हमने जीना सीख लिया. वी वर लॉक्ड इन अ रूम एंड वेयरएवर वी वर लॉक्ड, बट वी वर डूइंग थिंग्स फ्रॉम देयर, वी वर मेकिंग इट वर्क. हम घर से न्यूज़ कर रहे थे, बेस्ट आउट ऑफ इट. सो इट वाज मोर लाइक दैट, दे वर मेकिंग द बेस्ट आउट ऑफ दे कैन टू सर्वाइव. आई मीन लाइक ऑफ कोर्स दे आर नॉट हैविंग फन ओवर देयर, बट दे वर सर्वाइविंग एवरी डे विद ईच अदर्स हेल्प. So we found that really enticing and we found that really humorous, you know, because there was a situation where, say for example, in his journal it was written that he couldn't squat. he had a knee problem before going to jail, and he couldn't squat to go for potty in the morning. So he asked for an English toilet. So किसी बोला हाँ इंग्लिश टॉयलेट है ना भाई, मिलेगा आपको? तो कहाँ मिलेगा? तो वहाँ जाके दिखाया उन्होंने इंग्लिश टॉयलेट, बट वो साइड में एक ऐसा कमोड डिटैच रखा हुआ था. इट वाजंट अ टॉयलेट.
था बस वर्कएबल
वो था.
इंग्लिश टॉयलेट है हमारे पास,
है लेकिन काम नहीं करता. चलेगा क्या? So you know there were so many things like this. You know, people were in disbelief कि अरे सच में शिल्पा का पति है क्या? Like you know. So you've seen in the trailer. एक बंदा लास्ट में उसको पूछता भी है, सच में शिल्पा शेट्टी के साथ रहता है?
And then there's that dialogue where that person goes like, वो तो इतनी सुंदर है और आप. It's like it takes guts to include something like that of self-deprecating.
But it happened. It actually happened. So if it didn't happen, I would include it. But like I said, we've got to get based on a true story. You need a lot of testimonials, and we have them all. I know there's a lot of people that have come out and verified, and it is my journey. It's my story. It's what actually happened. And yeah, so if it happened, I said it. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't put it in there. And so I wrote it as this because for me the plan was to write a book.
Right.
When I come out, memoirs of my time in jail. But Shah was insistent that ये विजुअली दिखाते बहुत entertaining रहेगा और एक दूसरा एक take देंगे उसको लेके. So I think it's come out nice. I'm happy.
Right. And it's beautiful to look at you and Shilpa, and the chemistry you guys have and the journey you've had. But then we don't talk enough about being married to a successful and famous person. Especially a lot of people point out, I mean, what does it take to be a man who's married to a successful and famous woman? Because not a lot of people can. We've heard stories. You know, maybe it's about male ego. Which a lot of people point out, which a lot of women also point out. So I want to maybe get some guidelines or how do you make it happen?
I think you just have to be secure.
Or tips that men can get from you.
I think, you know, if you're real, and I think, see, Shilpa and I connected on the fact that we're both self-made. We didn't have any godfathers in the industry. I'm self-made in my business. She's self-made as an actor. You know, when the relationship is honest, then things work. When you try and pretend or be fake or flash and show off, I think girls don't like that today, honestly, what I've seen. So we always laugh about it. I said, you know, she is the beautiful one and I'm the beast, but we connect really well. So even beauty fell for the beast.
And she used to write letters to you.
She did.
What did she write on those?
Gosh, there was lots of very emotional letters, and my kids, my son would draw a picture with "Miss you, Daddy" with tears coming down, and it used to just break my heart. It was a very difficult time, but she was the strength. She was just managing the whole family, and if she wasn't who she was and the way she was, I think we would have all broken. So she really kept us all together at that time. I was inside. There was very limited things that I could do. तो बाहर से वो सब कुछ संभाल रही थी, बच्चों को, मेरी फैमिली को, अपनी फैमिली को, काम को, ट्रोलर्स को, मीडिया को. So it became quite a difficult time for her. But I think she also realized then genuinely how strong she is. And I salute her, hats off to her, because I must have done something right in my last life to have such a wonderful wife in this one.
Can you describe your time in Arthur Jail?
It was the hardest and the most toughest 63 days of my life. I can still relive it in my mind. There's a lot of pain that I carry, a burden that I carry. There wasn't a day that went by when I didn't know what's going to happen next. Every day was a new adventure. You know, there are all kinds of people inside, all accused. And it's very easy to say some criminals there, but they're accused. That room that we had, the barrack that I was staying in, was meant for 50 people, clearly mentioned outside. But there were 250 of us inside. So it was very hard to sleep. The food quality, the water that we got was not good. People were getting sick, itchy, and there were a lot of germs spreading inside. And then you get alpha male egos. So you're with these guys that have to act tough, and the minute you sort of don't stand your ground, then they make you one of them, and you're basically their puppet. So it's a difficult place. It's a very, very difficult place, and especially when it's a detention center where you're accused of something, but you're not guilty yet. There should be some basic fundamental rights, some basic human rights that we deserve, such as clean water, basic food, a place to sleep. Hey, everyone had to sleep on the side. You could not sleep on your back. That's a luxury.